What we dreaming? Are we dreaming? Are we dreaming? Are we dreaming?
Okay, so hi guys, it's Lollipop and welcome back to another video of mine, or welcome to if you are new. So today's video is going to be looking through my skin details, and these are going to be all my favorite skin details that I use for specifically my females, but a lot of these will transfer over to males as well, so there'll be like certain skins that you can use on men. The skin details will include basically all my skins, overlays, freckles and moles, hairlines, textures that I use such as eye bags, and also dimples and things like that. And also nose masks as well. So I'm going to be covering all of those different things. So if you're interested, I hope you stick around until the end of the video. And if there's a certain section that you guys want to hop to, I'll include timestamps in the description below, so you guys can skip through to the section that you guys want to look at. If you want to look at specifically just skins or freckles and moles or nose masks, you can always skip to those sections. And also all the download links will be in the comment section below. I'll be pinning a comment down there so you guys can go ahead and download all of these, and I'll make sure to link them on screen so you guys know which number and which name it is, so that it will all make sense to you, if that makes sense. I just said the exact same thing like over and over. Okay, so I think we should go ahead and hop straight into it. So right here we have Paris. So obviously we're going to go ahead and go through some of my favorite skins first of all, and then we'll move on to freckles and then hairlines and yada yada yada. I'll guide you guys all the way through it. So let's go ahead and take off everything that she's got on right now. So right now she's just got eyelashes on. She hasn't got any custom skin. I do use a default skin anyways, but right now she hasn't got anything on, okay? So my first skin that I wanted to show you guys is the Afterglow skin. So this skin specifically is made by DFJ. This skin is really, really nice. I like the fact that it adds a lot more contour around the Sim's face. It accentuates certain light patches and certain dark patches. I really, really like that about this skin. It also works from toddlers until elders, so it's one of the skins that, you know, can be used throughout the different stages of lifehood in the Sims, which is really, really useful, and it looks really nice on toddlers and children as well. And yeah, it's just a really, really versatile skin that I always like to keep in my game because I don't have too many toddler skins. So this one I normally find myself using more on toddlers than I do on young adults, but it's definitely one to mention because I do use it quite often. So that is my first one. And the next ones, basically they're all made by the same person because I've really gotten into their stuff recently, which is why this is going to be named July, because obviously this will change depending on what year we're in and what month we're on. So right now we're going to have a look at Sims 3 Melancholic, her skins that she makes. I'm assuming it's a she. Okay, so first up is the Alexa skin. Okay, so this is the Alexa skin just here. So a lot of Melancholic's skins, they do change the whole entirety of the body. So if I go ahead and actually just get Paris naked a second, you guys can see the skin. So as you can see, she's got like moles and freckles all over her body. She's also got a little bit of contour in her legs and, you know, in her stomach and stuff like that. In her collarbones, and obviously on the face she also has a bunch of freckles all over her nose and also a little bit at the top. This is a really, really cute skin. It comes in a few different overlaid versions, one with eyebrows, which, you know, I like. It means, you know, you can just add a little bit of eyebrow hair around it. This one basically gets rid of the body, so it will just be the face. Now what this means is the Sims 3 Melancholic's skins don't work. Like the actual skin piece doesn't work on toddlers. It'll only work on young adults, teens to adults. However, if you want to use the actual skin face for your toddlers or children or anything like that, you can actually just go ahead and obviously move it onto this one, which is the one without the body, if that makes sense. So it's just a face skin. And then that way, you know, you don't have any issues. You can still use it on all your children or on young adults or teenagers or anything like that. You can go ahead and apply it to the full skin. Personally, I like the full skins on adults, but it's really nice to be able to just use the face on your toddlers and children and things. And yeah, it's a really, really lovely skin. All of Sims 3 Melancholic skins are going to be really lovely, but I wanted to make sure I showed you guys all of my favorite ones. So this one is called the Alexa skin. And next up will be Jupiter. So Jupiter is this skin just here, again, obviously adding a lot more, you know, freckles over the body and things like that. This skin adds a little bit more texture on the face, and it comes in a few different versions. Obviously, this one is without the body, and this one is with the body. So this is what it looks like with a lip overlay, and it's a really, really nice skin. I like the fact that it's adding a lot of texture on her face. It means you haven't got to go and download loads of mole overlays because it already comes with them built into the skin. Okay, so next up is the Naomi skin, and this one is just this one here. So this one is a little bit darker, and it comes in a few different versions. So as we scroll through, this is the lightest version, but it does make the skin go a little bit darker than what it is originally. If you can see, it makes it a little bit darker. This one is a really, really, really nice skin. Again, obviously the model is of a darker complexion, which personally that would be what I use it on. I think it suits their complexion a lot more, but obviously you can use it on your lighter skin sims as well. And obviously it comes in a few different transparency modes. Okay, so next up is the Polar skin. Again, these are all by Sims 3 Melancholic. They'll all be by Sims 3 Melancholic until I tell you otherwise. This one is one of my favorite skins. Specifically, I always use this one with the skin with the lip overlays, as I said. But this is what it looks like. I think it makes the skin look really smooth. Adds a little bit of contour on the underneath the cheeks, and also underneath the jaw as well. And we again making the body look really, really lovely. And yeah, really, really nice skin overall, and I always find myself going to all of these skins. So yeah, obviously this is going to be showing you guys how specifically I make a lot of my sims, because I have a lot of questions, or I get a lot of questions every day, you guys asking me, how do I make my sims? How do I make them look the way they do? Basically, yeah, it's the skins I use. Okay, so next up is Rhonda, which is the one next to it, and this is what it looks like. This one is kind of like the Polar skin, except it has it's got a lot more like pores, like you can almost see the pores on the side of the sim. We've also got a few more freckles over the face, and also the nose changes a little bit, as you can see. It makes the nose a little bit smaller and the nostrils a little bit different, which obviously the whole skin will change everything. I like the fact that these ones are always sticking to the sim's skin tone. So as soon as you change the sim's skin tone, it will change with it, which is what I really like about these skins. So specifically, that is that. Okay, so next up are, instead of these being overlays, because these have all been skin overlays, we're going to actually move on to the physical skins. So this one is called the Jiva skin. Now, obviously it comes in a few different color options, which a lot of the color options are very pink. As you can see, this is like a very, very realistic looking skin. So if you like super realism within your game, it's kind of perfect for that. But personally, I like using the see-through ones, if that makes sense, like the more transparent ones, just because I feel like it works a little bit better for my type of sims that mainly I like to use the default colors that come within the game, like the skin tones. And obviously if you put a skin on your sim like this, it's covering up their skin. So do you get what I mean? Like this is actually a skin, and this is more like, this is the skin but transparent, so it's using your sim's physical skin tone to make the skin. Does that make sense? It should make sense. Either way, it's a really, really beautiful skin, and I really, really am up for using these ones. I really like them. Okay, next up is the Santi skin, and again, exactly the same. It starts off as a normal skin, and it comes in a few different color options. Again, the color options are great, but they're just a little bit too pink for my taste, and I'm not really the biggest fan of them. But obviously it does come in a few different versions, or comes in a few different colored options as well. Okay, so yeah, so here is the overlaid version of the skin. I'm a really, really big fan of this skin. It's a lot more clear than the other skins, but there's a few little freckles, a few little moles across the face. One up on the eye and two on the face. I love the lips on these ones, and also, you know, the skin. The skin is not my favorite, actually, like the actual one that comes across the body, just because it looks like there's like two belly buttons, and, you know, the moles are great, but obviously I do have, you know, skin detailed moles across the body anyway, so I don't really need that. So personally, I probably use this one where I just use the face and use my default body, but you get the idea. The skin is absolutely beautiful, and it looks really, really lovely on the Sims, and there's a lot of definition around the eyes as well, which is really, really nice. So next up is Nora, or Nura or Nora, I don't know what the name of it is. Either way, this is this one just here. So again, as you can see, comes in a few different color options, so I'll go ahead and show you these ones. It's really, really nice. I prefer the color options of this skin. I feel like they're a little bit more like realistic and suiting to the game color, but either way, Of course, I only use the overlaid versions, and the overlay versions specifically, they do make the sim quite a bit darker in comparison to her original skin tone complexion. But the skin is absolutely beautiful. I love the fact that it's got a little bit of pores around the nose, a little bit of highlight on the nose, and you know, it just generally completely changes the look of the sim. Like if we take off the skin and then put it on, do you see how much that changes the sim's look? Honestly, skins can do a world of difference. Like they can completely change a sim. But either way, I absolutely love this skin. And again, I find myself always using the overlay versions. So the one after is Paloma. So this is the Paloma one. Again, it doesn't change too much from the last one, except it changes up the lips a little bit. This one I find can be a little bit like, not pixelated, but I don't know, I just find it's not as crispy as the other versions, if you get what I mean. But again, obviously you can go ahead and apply the overlay version, and I like the fact that yeah, it's you know, it's another option for you. It hasn't got all the moles. It's got a little bit of freckling along the top of the nose, but mainly it's a really simple skin. And next up is Verona. So this is the skin just here. This one adds a fair amount of freckles on the nose, and obviously as you change the color of the skin, the freckles, you know, change slightly in color. They sort of look this like orangey color. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I prefer the skin in the lighter skin tones, like these sort of skin tones. Really nice, but obviously I don't use these skins. I only use the overlay version. So this is what the overlay version looks like just here. Again, obviously we've got a few moles along the body as well. I prefer this body version over the other one that we were just talking about. And yeah, I just think it looks really nice. A few moles across the body. And yeah, I just think these add a lot of definition to your sims and a lot of variety to make your sims look very different, with the moles along their body and, you know, freckles on their nose and things. Okay, so the next one up is the Allura skin. So what I've done in the download section is actually included the skin version and also the overlay version. I basically only use the overlay version in my game. As I said, I prefer using the actual skin tones that come within the game. But if you guys want to go ahead and download the original skin tone versions that the creator made with them, then by all means go ahead and download the original version. If not, go ahead and download the overlay version. But this is what it is. It is made by Praline Sims. So this is obviously a little bit different to the other one that we just looked at. So this one specifically adds a few different things like mouth corners, adds some contour, adds pores across the face, and also quite a lot of definition around the eyes, a lot of creases and things. Okay. Next one by Praline Sims is Livia. Okay, so the Livia skin is just this one here. It looks a little bit like the other skin, except like the nose looks a little bit different and the pores look slightly different as well. There's different versions of it. So there's this one which adds like a more defined cupid's bow and also a little bit more definition on where the eyebrows join up to the nose. And then we've got this one which again is getting even darker, and this one which again changes the nose again. So personally I prefer the first one. I think this one is the nicest one, but again it does change the body a little bit. You know, adds a little bit of like, you know, different sorts of looks around the leg. We've also got a little bit of booty along there as well, and a little bit of definition on the stomach as well. So I really like this skin. Absolutely would recommend you download it into your game. So next up is the Raina skin, which is just this one here. This one is a little bit nicer. I find that it is a little bit smoother. So here we have a few different versions. So this version specifically is like the original. This one works with sliders, I'm assuming. Slider comp, okay. This one adds eyelid space. So this one, in comparison to this one, changes the eyelids slightly. This one adds a little bit more transparency, this one with the slider and this one with the eyelid. So you can go ahead and play around with it and obviously test out which ones you prefer on your sim. Obviously each sim will look will look better with certain types of variations of the skin, but obviously there's a lot of flexibility with that as well, and I think it looks absolutely lovely on the sim. So go ahead and make sure you download that if you are interested. Okay, so the other one from Praline Sims is the Tender skin, which is just this one here. Not too much difference between these two if we go ahead and scroll through them. There's a little bit of change in the mouth and also the jaw section. And the lips, I find, yeah, it looks really nice. There's a few different versions that actually change the cleavage. So as we scroll through, this one is without the cleavage and this one is with the cleavage. and obviously this one's with the eyelid space and stuff. So each one that you scroll through does change the look of the sim slightly, so definitely go through and play around with it on each sim that you've got. But obviously if you guys prefer one over the other, you can go ahead and select that yourself in your own game. But yeah, absolutely, I definitely suggest the Tender skin. It's a really nice skin to have. And yeah, next up is the Vioxx and Hydra skin. Okay, so the Vioxx skin overlay is just this one here. These ones are slightly older ones that I used, but specifically, I like the fact that they have A double and also mono lids. So as we can see, this is the A double lid. So it obviously changes up the eyelids of the sim. So specifically, if you've got Asian heritage themed sims, you can also change the eye shape, because obviously that is most common in Asian countries. And also the mono lid as well, where you can go ahead and change that up. Or you've just got the standard version and you've got it in two different versions. You've got it in the full version or the one with more transparency, if that makes sense. And again, it offers it in, you know, all the different A-lid and double lid versions. And I really like this skin. I prefer my other skins specifically, but this one's really nice to have the eyelid. And of course, once you go ahead and add, you know, all these like lip overlays and things, it will completely change it, because the skin is just a base basically. And the last one to show you guys is the Hydra skin, which is the one next to it. And as you can see, there's not too much difference. There's a little bit. And obviously we can go ahead and apply these ones in different transparencies. Personally, I've always preferred this one just here. I find it looks really nice and smooth on the lips. And, you know, changes up the nose. And I think it just makes the skin look really smooth and pretty. And yeah, I think that's basically all of my skins. I think I'm done. I've only got so much to say about each skin, but you know, I play around with all of the skins on my sims and find out which one looks the best. And obviously, depending on which one looks the best, I'll go ahead and, you know, put that on the sim and play around with it and find different transparencies. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys basically, you know, what skins I use on my sims when I create them, because you guys want to know what I've been using recently, and these might have been a lot of my top July favorites. So next up, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Freckles and Moles. Okay, so first up on the Freckles and Moles is the IMF full face moles. So this is what it looks like just here. It comes in a few different color options, so as we scroll through them, as you can see, it comes in a few different variations. So specifically, obviously this skin is of a darker complexion, the one that is modeled on, but this one I feel like looks the best on her skin tone specifically. These look really nice. Obviously, they do add freckles all over the face, which is quite common, as you've seen in, you know, real people. And I haven't got like a full freckled face, you know, skin detail. So this is the one that I mainly go to. So next up is the IMF Dolly Face freckles. So it's just this one here, which is next to it. So this adds a really light amount of freckles if you just have a look underneath her eyes. So again, it comes in a few different color options. Obviously, the first one I feel like suits her skin the best, but it comes in a few different versions and also a really dark version as well. This adds a little bit of freckling underneath the eyelid, which again can be quite common for people. I really like the look of this one. Obviously, it speaks to you, doesn't it? Like, you guys can decide if you want to go ahead and download it after I show you guys it. But personally, I'm a really big fan of these freckles, and I just think I haven't got any other freckles that go underneath the eyes like that, so it's quite nice to just have a little bit freckling, you know? Okay, so the next one is the Freckles BH08, and this one is by Busra TR. So it is these freckles just here. So, oh, I just clicked off of it. Oh God, what am I doing? I'm all over the place. Okay, so these are the freckles just here, and of course it comes in different color options, so you guys can go ahead and find which one suits your sim the best. Personally, I really like these ones. It's a full freckling across the nose and the cheeks, and also down onto the jaw just slightly, not by much, just coming down onto the cheeks mainly. It's a really nice freckling, and it's really subtle, which I like personally, and definitely I would highly recommend you guys go ahead and download these ones. Yeah, I just think they look really pretty. Okay, so next up we're moving on to Praline Sims Freckles and Moles. So this one is like a combination one. So as you can see, it includes the freckles in the background and also a few little moles dotted around. So it comes in a few different variations, one without the moles and one with different variations of the freckles in different places, and one with just the moles by itself. These ones are really useful because obviously if you just want the moles, you can go ahead and download it. If you just want the freckles, you can go ahead and download the exact same one. It works for loads of different things. You've also got the option to place a freckle or a mole in different places. And again, obviously it comes in a few different options to add everything together, and yeah, I just think it's a really perfect one to have in your game. Okay, and next up is the NO3, which as you can see is basically the same as the last one, except it has a little bit more like subtling on the freckles, and also they are a combination of the cheeks, the forehead, and the chin. Again, it comes in a few different versions. This one obviously with just the moles by itself. This one is just the freckles by itself, or this one is together, or the half overlaid version. And these ones obviously a little bit lighter as well. Comes in so many different ones with just the freckles by itself or just the moles. So again, if you guys want to go ahead and customize this, you can go ahead and download it yourself as well. Okay, so NO9 is up next. So these ones are like more prominent freckles but less prominent moles, if that makes sense. So there's a few moles on the right hand side of the face through the nose and the cheeks, and like prominent freckling across the nose and the cheeks. Again, I think this is a really lovely you know, bundle to have together. And again, obviously you can just split it up, and here's a few different versions that it comes in. There we go. So I'm going to try and speed up because I basically spent 30 minutes just going through the skins, which I know was like the biggest part of it, but I want to make sure that you guys get a chance to see everything, and you know, the video isn't too long. So for some of it I might not be talking over all of it, I might just be showing you the swatches without talking over it and just increasing the volume of the music. But don't mind me, it's just me, you know, trying to show you guys everything and get through the video quickly so you don't die of boredom. Okay, next up is NO8, which is subtle freckling on the nose and the cheeks, and moles dotted throughout the, you know, face, even one in the hairline as well. So these are a few different options that it comes in. Okay, so next up is Saya Freckles, and it's called N1. So these ones are freckles that are dotted all over the face. Comes in a few different coloured options as well. As you can see, I'm scrolling through them. Sometimes I like really dark freckles on Sims. I think that can look really pretty. And sometimes I can fancy like really subtle freckles like these ones. So again, you can just go ahead and, you know, customize them as you like in different colour variations as well. Okay, so these are some of my most used freckles. So specifically the ALF, let me get it right, ALF C. This is the soft version. So this one is just over the nose. These ones, as you can see, and as you can see, they are very soft to actually use on your sim. And these ones are the March versions, which are ones that are dotted all over the face basically. Really nice to have. Specifically, I like using this one. It works on a lot of skin tones, and I think it just has a little bit more texture in Sims, because Sims skins normally are like really clear, and that's not normally the way it works in real life. And obviously I like a little bit of realism in my game, so it's really nice to have, and you know, change up your Sims a little bit and give them something that you might have in real life as well. Okay, so last up for these ones is actually a few of my moles. So this is Scarlet. So we've got Scarlet number 1, which is just these ones here, and as you can see, they're different variations of moles. There you go. And Scarlet number 2, which is again different variations of moles across the face. And yeah, that is everything for my freckles and moles. So next up, we're going to move on to hairlines, which I only use mainly like 3. I only mainly use like 5 or 6 of these, so I haven't got too many hairlines to show you guys, but I've got a few. And again, obviously I've linked them down in the comment section, so you guys can go ahead and download everything that I have shown you. Okay, so first up is the GP Me. That's what I'm going to call them because that's what they call themselves, but it's also like Gopol's Me. So this is the first hairline that we've got here. So again, it comes in a few different colours. It's really nice. I like all of GP's things that they have included, you know, but they're really nice. Obviously, all the colour options are really great, depending on if they've got blonde hair, black hair, green hair. It really doesn't matter. And next up is the V2 version, which is just this one here. As you can see, this one comes into the face a little bit more, and this one, it comes out a little bit more, so sort of widens the forehead a little bit. And again, comes in the exact same colour options as the last one, and looks really good with all the different hair colours as well. And the last one from GP Me is the, oh wait, sorry, not yet. The last one from GP Me is the G1, which is the one with a middle parting. So as you can see, just running across here, there is actually a middle parting. So if you've got a hair with a middle parting, it would look best. But again, it comes in a few different color options. And yeah, I just think these are absolutely perfect. They work really well for alpha hairs. Not too sure about Maxis Match hairs, so don't quote me on those ones, but I have got a Maxis Match hairline that I use. I'm going to go ahead and show you in a second. So you guys can use either one, you know, but if you don't mind a little bit of an alpha hairline, then this one is a really, really nice one to use. Okay, so it is called Hairline N2A, and it is Diarrhea. So this is the one that it looks like. This one adds a little bit more like wispiness to the top. So again, you've got a little bit of wispies coming down here, and you know, a few coming onto the face. It comes in a few different color options as well, as we can see as we scroll through. It's changing the hairline color. I just think it's a really, really nice one to have for, like, you know, just wispy little like bits coming off, you know. I just think it looks really, really nice to have in the game, and I've got it in a few different versions, but specifically this one is my favorite, which is why I'm showing you this one. And two more to go. We've got the next one is called Organic Hairline by Pixel Law, which is the one that's Maxis Match. So this one, if we go ahead and pop it on, is Maxis Match friendly, I feel. Just because obviously instead of it being like little wispy hairs like this and drawn on, it's actually like pieces of hair like this, like you can see what I mean, right? You can see it right around the corner and coming down her head. This one will actually suit like a clay hair a little bit more. So if I go ahead and pop I don't even think I could do this. Yuck. If I go ahead and pop this on, you can see it suits this bit a little bit more, whereas if you put the wispy one on, then yeah, it looks a little bit different. But either way, this hair is ugly, so it's coming off. There we go. I'm sorry to pain you guys with that. And one of my favourite hairlines is called Hairline N1 by Obscurus. Obscurus? I can never get it right. Either way, it's a really, really subtle hairline, and it comes in loads of different colour options that I always find I can use. And obviously if I take it off and put it back on, it's basically the same sort of hair shape as this hair that I'm using here, but it looks really, really nice and has a slightly middle parting as well. Really, really like this hairline. One of my favourites to use. So yeah. That is it for hairlines. I've covered all my favorites. Not trying to like bombard you guys with too much stuff, but there is over like 65 links that I've included. So you guys have got a lot of stuff to go through. I'm sorry if I'm going to make your computer run slowly because I'm making you download all this stuff. But okay, so next up is the texture that I include. So texture can be anything from adding texture to lips, adding texture to eyes, such as eye bags, things like that. So first of all, I'll go ahead and show you the lip overlays that I've been talking to you guys about. These are my favorites, like my absolute favorites. So you can download all of the links in there, and it places it in different places because obviously sometimes if I go ahead and apply the Afterglow skin, I can't use the lip overlay with them. But if I go ahead and scroll down, I also have it in another section. So I also have it here, which means I can overlay them over the top of each other. If that makes sense, because they're in different places within the game, they recognize them as being in different, you know, sections of the face. So yeah, this is what they look like just here. It comes in a few different options. There you go. And it just adds a little bit of like 3D-ness almost to the game, which personally I really like. And obviously a lot of the lips are quite chapped, which I personally like. If we go ahead and use this overlay on top, I just love the way that it's been looking recently. It's been my go-to to stick a skin on and definitely stick this lip overlay on. So if you guys have been wondering how I've been getting my Sims to look the way they do recently, go ahead and download this lip overlay because it has been my it's been my holy grail. Okay, my holy grail. Okay, so next up is the eye bags that I have got from Praline Sims. So these ones are called N01. This one specifically is to make your Sims have, I'm pretty sure this counts as monolids because I think there is a small line on there. This is to give your Sims like an Asian look, as I said. It's really nice to have because a lot of skins actually give them like a double lid automatically, which sometimes you don't always want that depending on the ethnicity that you feel that your Sim is from. So specifically this one is really nice to have and comes in a few different color options depending on how dark and prominent you want it to be around the eye area. As you can see, it can be really dark or just really light. And again, I've really been a fan of these ones, and it does come in a few different color options, so if you do want to use a colored version, you can. But personally, I only use the overlaid version just because I like it to be the same color as my Sims skin tone. And next one is the N08 skin bags. Let me go ahead and actually, skin bags. I just really call them skin bags. I meant eye bags. Okay. Right, so these ones are the number N08. So it comes in a few different versions. These ones specifically have got like a red tinge to them. These ones have got a slightly darker tinge to them. These ones are my most used ones. These ones are like the perfect shade for eyelid colours. This one is quite red again. This one is like a brown shade. And this one is a purple shade. And again, I think it looks really, really nice on the Sim. And it comes in a few different variations depending on if you want like, you know, 2 bags or like deep set eyelids and things like that. And the next one is N02, which is the one next to it. This one adds like a little bit of like tiredness under the eye, but if you use it again in the colours that I suggested, then it can just add a small amount of eye bag underneath the eye and just adds a little bit of definition to your Sim's face, gives them a little bit of, you know, 3D-ness, should we say, so they're not just flat. And again, I really, really like these ones, which is why I'm recommending them to you. And after that is the N19s. So these are these ones here. Again, obviously changing the color depends on, you know, what you want. Personally, I prefer these ones that come down a little bit further, and I get them in a slightly more like shaded color, just like that, but adds a slight, you know, line underneath the eye just to obviously make the eyes look as if they sort of come out a little bit more. And yeah, as I said, these ones are my absolute favorite and my like specific go-tos. And the last one for the eye bags is the Praline Sims N10, and it adds a slight amount of baggage underneath there, but again, obviously changing the colour of it will depend on, you know, what sort of effect you want to have, and these are the different, you know, options that it comes in. Okay, so we are finished with eye bags, and next up is the contour and highlights. Okay, so first up is the nose highlight by Praline Sims, and it's the N58. So this is what it looks like. If I go ahead and take it off and put it back on, that's what it looks like. It adds a small line and a little dot on the edge of the nose. Comes in a few different colour options depending on how like prominent you want it to be, and you know how much you want it to stand out. These ones add like the line and the dot at a different angle. So if you don't want it to be dead center to the nose, you can just change this up to make it go left or to the right. But personally, obviously, I prefer having it in the middle. And yeah, it comes in a few different versions. And these ones is the dot on the bottom. And this one, yeah, you can just change it and add the transparency of it to make it lighter or darker. And then we've got N06, which is a contour and highlight. Now, this one you're thinking, what, Lauren, what are you thinking? Why are you using this on your Sims? Okay, hear me out, hear me out. You don't have to use this version. Specifically, obviously it comes with just the highlight version, which I don't personally use. I actually just use the contour version. This version is really, really nice to add a little bit of depth to your Sims' faces, specifically where they are, like the fact that it comes just underneath the cheeks. I think it adds a really, really nice effect on certain Sims depending on their face shape. And I think it's a really, really nice one to use. I like using it in the lower percentage transparency, just because I think that one looks the best on the Sims faces. But yeah, it's an absolute go-to for me for contour, this one. And the one that I'm about to move on to next, which is the N07, which is this one here. This one comes across the, like, imagine you're making a 3 on the side of your face. Do you get what I mean? Number 3, like underneath here, across here, and across here. So obviously I don't use it this dark. There's a little bit, you know, muddy looking. I go ahead and tone it down and go with a slightly lighter tone. But I just think it adds a little bit of definition to the face again. Obviously that's the idea of contour. And you can play around with it and add, you know, blush on top as well. So you can change it up as you want to. And next up is N03. So these ones are a few different ones. As you can see, they're not exactly clear. So these ones have got a small amount of skin detail, but also include a few wrinkles. Now, one thing that I was finding that I was having an issue with, hold on, let me see if I can find the wrinkled version. There is one with wrinkles on it. Okay, well this one's only got the wrinkles underneath the nose. I think this one is the one with wrinkles on it. Either way. Wait, I swear there's one with wrinkles on the eyes. Okay, was that one just there? Okay, so if I pull around to the side, because our eyelashes are so big, you normally can't see it. There's a small amount of wrinkles on the eyes. These ones are perfect for overlaying onto skins. So I normally find that when my Sims turn to adults or my Sims turn to elders, they never have any wrinkles. And I'm like, well, I don't want to take their skin off them because they look hella ugly without a skin. But I don't want them to look like they're 20 when actually they're supposed to be like 60 or 70 years old. So these ones are really nice to add a small amount of, you know, like wrinkles to the face and a little bit of, you know, definition around the nose and things like that. Just make it look like the Sims are a little bit older. I personally really like to have it in my game. And yeah, I thought you guys would like it too. And okay, so next up is the Contour C3 by GP Me. And it comes in a few different colour options, as you can see. This one's quite nice because it's set a lot further back on the cheek. So as you can see, if I go ahead and like apply it in a really dark colour, this one's really subtle. It's very far back on the cheeks, which personally I like. Just because, you know, sometimes you don't always want like loads and loads of contour like right at the front of the face. And you want it to just frame the face slightly, but be further back. Personally, this one is a really nice subtle one to have, especially for your lighter complexion Sims, which I think is perfect to have. And obviously because it goes, you know, towards the ear, you know, it's not too impeding or impacting on your Sim's face. So, okay, so my last one to show you guys is my favorite face shine. So it's just this one here is by SM Sims, which is called Screaming Mustard. And this is what it looks like. It is my favorite highlight to use. It's really, really nice the way that it adds it just on the nose, underneath the eyes, on top of the eyelids, on the cheeks, on the cupid's bow, and just slightly underneath the lips. I think it adds it in all the perfect places. This is the only highlight that I've been able to use that doesn't do that pixelated version. So if you guys want to, you know, find a highlight that actually works with skins and works with eyebrows and doesn't make that weird pixelation version, then definitely go ahead and pick yourself up this highlight as well. Okay, I'm back. Sorry if this kind of sounds weird or the microphone sounds different or anything like that. It's just because this is actually being recorded the day after the first part of this video was recorded, just because it was getting really, really hot by the time that I was recording it. And yeah, I was getting like stressed out and stuff, so it sounds so ridiculous when I tell you about it. But either way, I'm back and we're going to finish off the last part of this video and are going over everything. So let's go ahead and finish it all up. So we're going to now move on to the dimples and creases. And we're going to go ahead and start on Praline Sims. In fact, all of these are actually from Praline Sims. So as you can tell, these are some of my favourite ones. So we are going to start off with NO4, the mouth corners by Praline Sims, which is just this one here. So these are a few different mouth corners that come in. We've got a few subtle ones. You know, we've got some, you know, some nice ones. It sort of just makes it look like their lips are upturned, which I really, really like. And also ones that are, you know, on different sides. Okay, so NO5 dimples are just these ones here. So we've got a few different versions. We've got this one, which are further forward on the face. We've got further back. We've got, you know, slightly impressed. And yeah, basically, they come in loads of different versions. One on one side and one on another. I actually want to do a Sim self. And obviously, as you guys know, if you've seen my videos before, you would know that I have one stupid dimple on one side of my face and not on the other. So this would be really good for me when I'm doing my Sim self, because I can actually just add the dimple on the side of my face that it is on. But either way, enough about me. You guys get the idea. That is what the dimples look like. They are super, super cute, and I'm a really big fan of these ones. Okay, and then next up is the NO6 dimples, which are kind of the same. There isn't too much difference, except I find these ones are a little bit more subtle than the other ones. As you can see, they'll do ones that are on the left and the right, and they also do ones that are on both sides. These ones I don't use as much. I do prefer the other ones. They show up a little bit more on the face, but these ones work as well, and I just find that these ones work for slightly lighter skin tones as well, NO6. So yeah, that is that one. And then we're going to move on to NO2 is a nose crease. So it's sort of just like the end of the nose, and it adds like a little bit of like a crease almost at the nose. It sounds as what it is. So this is NO2 nose crease. So if we go ahead and try it on, so this is without, this is with, so it's very, very subtle, but it comes in a few different versions. It can make the nose look wider, it can make it look smaller, it can just do loads of different things. It's a really, really subtle one, but I find that it can really change the shape of a nose. And also when you use it over the top of a skin, I feel like it shows up a little bit more as well. So this is one of my commonly used ones. And then our last one in dimples and creases is the NO1 chin cleft, which is just this one here. So this one, I'm sorry if you guys heard that though. I had to keep the window open because it's so hot today. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it cool in the bedroom. Okay, so this one is a chin cleft. So as you can see, if we go through different ones, this adds a slight cleft in the chin, and also changes the shape just slightly in the jaw. As you can see, like if we put that on there, adds a bit of a shadow underneath the jaw. If you guys see when I add it and then take it off, it adds a bit of a shadow. It's a really, really nice one to have. I use it on my males, but also my females. I find that it's a lot nicer in like a more subtle tone for the females, but men definitely, it's very common for them to have a chin cleft. So or not very common, but I see it a lot more on men than I do on women. Okay, so first up is by Remus Sirion, and this is number 2. So this is what this one looks like. Comes in a few different versions. Obviously, you can make it a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, and it also comes in a few different shapes as well. So mainly these two are like the best ones. One adds more definition around the edge of the nose, and one takes it away. Again, really, really nice. Matches the actual skin tone, which I like. It's not like, you know, like an actual mask like this one, where it changes the color of it and you have to like go through and try and match up the color. This one is just automatically the right color, you know. And then we're going to have a look at NO4, which is this one here. And this one's really cute. It adds a small amount of freckles on the nose as well. And it comes in a few different color options, as we can see, like a really light option or a slightly darker option, depending on how much definition you want to show. And then we're going to have a look at NO6. Okay, so this one is NO6, and as you can see, it's a really, really nice one. Comes in a few more subtle versions. I love the fact that it sort of makes the nose look a little bit more square at the bottom. It's really nice in certain particular faces that you want to change up the nose. Nose masks are really, really good if you find that your Sims are kind of looking the same, and you always seem to use the same presets, and whenever you change them, they always look the same way. It's really nice to use loads of different nose masks because they can really make your Sim's face look very different. I find that the nose basically changes the whole entire face. If you've got a different nose, it can completely change somebody's face. Okay, so the last one by Remus Sirion is NO1, and it is just this one here. This one you guys would have seen on Kelsey, who is my 100 Baby Challenge Sim, and it's a really, really nice overlay. Comes in a few different versions. This one is a little bit more transparent, and this one is a little bit darker and adds a Cupid's bow, whereas this one takes the Cupid's bow away, as you can see. And yeah, really, really nice nose overlay. I think it makes a super, super cute little nose. And it's one of my favorite ones to use, but obviously because I currently have it on Kelsey, I feel like I can't just go and use it on every single Sim that I like. So that one is the only reason why I don't pull it out all the time. But we're gonna go have a look at GP-Me's overlays. Okay, so we're gonna have a look at the nose mask V3 by GP ME, which is Gopol's Me. I never managed to get it right, but we get the idea. So this is what it looks like, and it comes in a few different color options. So this one is specifically a nose mask, which I normally get put off of nose masks. I find it more difficult to go and like match up the skin tone. Luckily, this one has got a skin that like, or a color that does match the actual Sim's face, like this one for example. But sometimes when you use a certain Sim's skin tone, it doesn't always match them, and it does mean you have to go and play around with the skin tone to try and match it up. But overall, I think it's a really, really nice nose mask, and I think it just makes the nose look really cute and like uptoned and sort of like a cute little button nose, if you get what I mean. And it looks really, really nice on the male Sims as well. So that one is from GP-Me, and we're gonna have a look at Miscellany. They're called Miscellany nose masks, and they're by GYXIS. Okay, so this is the first one called Miscellany Nose Mask, not Miscellany 2. So this is what it looks like just here. It comes in a few different versions. So what this one does is it is an overlay over the top of the nose, but it comes in loads of different versions. So it's not like one specific nose type. It adds basically loads of different contour shapes on top of the nose to create different styles. And as you can see, they're like different styles of people. So this one is called Jessie. This one's Lilith, Adele. This one's WNGM. This one is Blueberry, and Lilith again, Delicate. So there's loads of different like versions of it here. But I think it really, really, like, I mean, look at the Sim, like look what it's doing and changing her face. I think it really, really can create like a completely different face shape, which I personally really like, and I love this nose specifically. This one's one of my favorite ones to use. But either way, that is the first one. And then Miscellany 2 by PYXIS is this one here. And as you can see, again, it comes in a few different versions, and obviously each of them have got their own different names, and you can really customize all of these. You can change them completely. I normally find that I like using the nose mask and then also adding a tiny little bit of highlight on the end of the nose, and I think that just kind of completes the look for me, and obviously comes in loads of different versions that you can apply, and you know, makes their nostrils look different, makes, you know, the nose shape look different in general. And yeah, I just think it looks really nice. One of my favorite ones to go to. Those two are my most go-to nose masks, like these ones by PYXIS, these ones, or Pixis, these ones are my favorite ones to go for. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you a few, two more from Praline Sims, and then we will be completely finished. Okay, so first up is NO3. So this is what NO3 looks like. So it does come in a nose mask version. As you can see, it comes in loads of different versions on here, which you can go ahead and try and like match it up to your Sim skin tone, which you can do. Like, you can eventually find the Sim skin tone. I mean, we're getting pretty close to her skin tone right now. I think that might have been the match. There we go. But either way, you can actually just apply this one over here, which is more of like a transparent version of it, and it comes in a few different versions. As we can see, if we go through it, it can make it a little bit darker. But overall, this one I prefer using in the transparent version because it works like an overlay, so it uses the same skin tone behind it. I think it makes a really cute little nose, and also adds a highlight on top, which is really useful because it means you haven't got to go and add your own highlight. And also the one next to it, which is NO4, again comes in the exact same things. You can go ahead and apply these ones and find the color match, or you can go ahead and just apply the overlay. Personally, I like the, you know, most minimal one, but you can just go ahead and find your color shape if you don't want it to be like as like in your face and as intrusive, should we say, as the other ones. And you can get a really nice nose shape, and I think it again makes her nose look really cute. But as I said, nose masks for me are a big must. They're one of my biggest things I find that I use. And yeah, I think I've covered basically everything in this video. There is nothing else that I want to go over. That is everything that I wanted to go over. Those are all of my most used skin details I've been using currently in the month of July. But if you guys obviously want another one of these, maybe next month when I start using new things, or you know, the next month after when I actually start to, you know, getting some new stuff, getting some more CC, and I start changing the way my Sims look, because there's certain times when I go through like trends of making my Sims look in a certain way, and sometimes, you know, I just use different things. So let me know what you guys think of this video, and as always, if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like on the video, and if you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll get around to them as soon as I can. And if you are new, it'd be awesome if you could subscribe, because obviously it helps our little family grow. And if you just want to hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button, you get notified every single time I upload, which means you'll never miss one of my uploads. And I think that is everything. So as always, I love you all, and I'll speak to you next episode. Bye guys!